Oh boy. All right. Let's make sure the volume's on. I hate to do this over again, but man, I am super excited to talk to my good friend and friend of the channel, Mr. What what kind of name is that?
That is, Art Wolf calls me Hermann Luttmann because I'm a
Ah, there
mensch.
you go. There you go. There you go. So it's Hermesh Lummish. Thank you for
Luttmann, yes.
joining me. Oh my God, that is so great. I mean, we're gonna call you. We got to call you all kinds of crazy things. Lootman, Lootmish. I
Yep.
mean,
Zilla Blitz still calls me Luttmann. So
there you go. Well, we're gonna have a great chance to catch up with you tonight and get to talk to you about all the wonderful things you've been doing, and just kind of catch up. And it's been a while. We used to get together for a while and do some gaming, and we're going to talk gaming. We're going to talk all kinds of gamings. I see you got something on the table behind you.
I do indeed. If you can see that. So if we want to start with that,
Sure, we'll talk about it. Might as well.
Yeah, no, I picked up the C3I, the Korea 38th parallel. So this is the last C3I that they did for Roger McGowan passing away. So that this is kind of like a tribute to him and the final issue. Hey, Hexy.
Yeah,
and this is really cool because it's got 3 games in it. A solo game on the siege of Cadiz. It has the Battle for Moscow, which is that old traditional simple war game. It's still a great game, though. And the one on the table now is the Korea game, which looks pretty cool. I haven't actually started it yet, but it looks really neat.
Absolutely. We need more Korea games, to be honest. Not a ton of them out there.
I find the Korean War so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Christoph.
And we should really make a big deal about Christoph. He came to a live stream that I was having about 4:30, 5 o'clock when I got home from work. And he's like, oh my God, I don't know if I can stay up 2 more hours for Herman coming on. But he did. So thank you, Christoph.
Thank you, Christoph. You're the man.
Yes, for sure. Good job. So yeah, Korea. I mean, it's a gem of a conflict.
What's so fascinating about Korea is that a lot of people probably don't. I don't know if maybe you do realize that when North Korea invaded, they used T-34-85s. That was their armored force.
Right. Yeah.
World War II Russian tanks.
Of how you had one side almost completely eliminated. The other side pushed them all the way
down
back
to the Pusan perimeter, right?
Yeah, and they pushed them all the way back, and then they
all the way back. MacArthur wanted to go in.
Yep. Yes, it's like
I find this. Then the Chinese get involved and push them all the way back down again. I had this idea for a game way back in the day where you would play solitaire on both sides, right?
Right.
So you play solitaire as the North Koreans pushing the UN. And then you play solitaire, pushing them back, and then you join as the Chinese and you push them back.
See that? I think that would be super interesting to try.
It might be interesting. See, the thing that bothers me about is it all Korean war games? I'll say most Korean war games because I don't know about all of them, but they all stop in 1951. It's after all the right. They don't cover the hill hopping right. In the middle. And to me that's kind of fascinating though, because they were all right, they were all maneuvering for position for the armistice, right? So they're trying to push that line back and forth. I mean, to me that's a fascinating part of the war, and most games just figure it's boring, so then nobody. I find it fascinating myself.
Yeah, I agree.
One of these days I'm going to try to tackle that, I think.
Well, I think the other thing is the fact that they made that magazine for Roger McGowan's passing is super cool.
Yes.
Super respectful. And I think, that is great for the wargaming community to kind of as a thank you and a tribute to the man. And I think that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful magazine. The production on the 3 games is fantastic. It's a fitting tribute.
Absolutely. So the way I thought we would do this is, we're We'll talk about things that had happened in the past, what
Hmm.
games that had come out in the past. Then we'll talk about current day things that are coming out and what you're doing currently, and then talk about things that you're thinking about for doing in the future.
Okay, and I'll apologize now to all the baseball fans out there because I know Game 7 just started. So
Yeah, well,
as
we
soon
had a
as we're done
bad.
with this,
I
I'm going to
mean,
run over there and
yeah,
watch.
we should have probably scheduled it for another night, but I
No, it's
mean, then you got the
okay.
World Series to worry about, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly,
there's
exactly.
always something going on. So I figure
Yep.
most people will watch this afterwards, anyways.
Yeah, no, it's a
So
slow start, so nothing's really. What are you going to miss? 3 innings, maybe something like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not going to be here too long. We're only going to keep you about an hour, maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously. So what have you been up to? For the last year, gaming wise? Have you got any like some gaming in? I know you've been working on a lot of projects, so your
Yeah,
time is limited, but I know you've done
yeah.
some gaming.
I'm doing some gaming. I'm trying to force myself to play something. I feel guilty every time I do it. But
Right?
I did play. So I got the Korea game set up. I've played. I don't know if you can see them up there. There's the new Memoir 44 over there, which is a nice little package. If you don't have Memoir 44 already, that one's a nice production. And underneath that, you'll see not one, but two copies of Battle for Hoth, which is a Star Wars equivalent of Memoir 44 or Command and Colors, whatever you want to call it, which is a cool little package too. They got little campaigns in there. The minis are fantastic. Um,
It's
it's
Star Wars in a
smaller.
box. You want to play the battles for Star Wars? I mean, that's the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I bought two is because a very clever marketing move by them. If you want to play the last scenario, which is kind of like the Overlord scenario for Memoir 44, where you stick two boards together and you can play with four people, you got to buy two copies. So
Of course.
I
Yeah.
got sucked into it because I had a Noble Knight discount and it basically cost me $20 for the two games. So I figured, what the heck,
Wow.
right?
That's nice.
Well, I
That's
know it
nice.
didn't really cost me $20. I had to trade in a bunch of games, but you get
Right.
the idea.
Dave says don't sleep on his Detroit Lions, who are playing actually
They're
up the
playing
road
right
in
now.
Tampa tonight. Yeah. So they're
Yep.
going to be playing
They're
up the
playing
road.
Tampa Bay, which is actually an interesting game.
And who would have thought Detroit and Tampa, is going to be an awesome, awesome game with two awesome teams. I mean, I'm
Yep.
from the 80s and 90s when I watched, and it was Detroit
Yep.
and Tampa were always in the doormat, right?
Yep. And two good quarterbacks, very entertaining to watch them play. Yeah, it's a good Monday night game.
Yeah. And so, Christoph, 3 innings. What are innings? He's over in Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark,
Isn't
Belgium.
he
I think he's
isn't he in the
Belgium.
Netherlands and
I
is he
think he's
Dutch?
Belgium.
No?
I think he is. I
Yeah.
forget where he's from. There's
You
so
can tell us,
many.
Christoph.
Yeah, he'll tell us. He'll
Yeah.
let us know. Um,
As far as non-war games, I told you about this game. I heard about this game from the Secret Cabal podcast.
yeah,
We're talking about it. So there's this game called Moon Colony Blood. I haven't figured out how to do this camera thing yet.
there
There
you
you go.
go.
Moon Colony Bloodbath, which the name alone attracted me to the game because I figured like this is chaos written all over it. Right?
Yep,
And
yep,
it's a lot of fun. It's not really, it's not a war game at all. It's more of a kind of a deck destruction type of game. And it's just so easy to play and so fun because bad cards end up in this central deck and then you just flip in the deck and you do whatever the cards say, but bad cards are hidden in there. So you kind of have to plan for them to show up.
right.
So it's very simple, but a lot of fun so far anyway.
Yeah, and it's also by
Belgium, right? Sorry.
Belgium. Yes. See, I thought it was Belgium. It's by the guy who made Dominion. So,
Yes.
So one of my all-time favorite
I
games,
have my
and
glasses on, so I
he's
can't
the
tell you his
king.
name. But
He's the king of deck builders. So this is kind of it is a deck building, but you're adding a card into the deck.
you're adding bad cards all
in
the time,
there.
basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I thought that was a good mechanism because it's like you're adding things to your deck that you don't want to add because it's going to
Right.
cause more problems,
Mhm.
your
Right.
faction or your moon base.
Mhm.
It's a interesting
It's
alternate
funny.
concept.
Dominion is one of the few board games I still to remember to this day the first time I played it. And
Wow,
I'm talking way back, right?
way back.
But in my gaming group in New York, I remember somebody brought this thing and I said, "What in God's name did I just play? This is fascinating." This
Yeah,
whole idea of deck
yeah.
building.
It was
And
it was
I was hooked right away. Yeah.
yeah, it was a new concept, and no one had ever like put the pieces together. And then it was like, wow, what is this? I get new deck, get new
Mhm.
cards, and I get to get rid of cards, and then I
Right.
do all these cool actions.
You get new cards, but you don't get them right away.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
And so now, like a third of the games that are being released are deck builders in some kind of fashion like that, which
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
it's definitely changed the way gaming in a positive. In a
Mhm.
positive.
Yeah,
Richard
I
Burr's
agree.
in the house. Richard, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey,
We're
Rich.
gonna we're gonna open it up for questions a little bit later. So if you have any questions for Herman, just keep them in your pocket. I'll open it up for in a little bit to have people ask questions. I'll probably get to a lot of things that you might ask ahead of time. But if I don't get to something, then we can ask your questions.
Yep,
Let's
fire away.
say at about 8:45 or so. If that sounds good to everyone. As a Belgian war gamer, we get the newest war games about a half a month after the American releases. So I have time to discover the new games before they're released in Belgium. That is one of the good advantages is you get to find out what's the good, what's hot, what's
Right. You get to
way.
scout them out a little bit. Yep,
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
you're not wasting money, and you're not wasting a lot of money because me and Herman talked offline a little bit, and
Mm.
it seems like you know what game is good for you, but we all get sucked up, don't you? Like you're just like
Yeah,
me. You see something, you go, "Oh, that looks cool," and you got to get it, and then you get it, and you're
true.
like,
Right.
"What am
So
I
what's
going to do with
happening
this?"
right. So what's happening now is now the so I had that philosophy 2 or 3 years ago. So all the Kickstarters from back then are now starting. Now I'm getting the emails that say, "Oh, time to close your pledge, and here's your shipping costs." And I'm looking at the game going, "I don't want to play that anymore." Right? I don't either have room for it or time for it anymore. So a lot of these are going to get sold right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You can't see it, but right there,
mhm.
oh, right there, the white box,
Yeah, I
Freedom
see it.
5,
What is it?
Freedom 5
Oh, Freedom 5. So I had Freedom 5 and I sold that right away
to
because I knew I
me.
wasn't going to have
You
time to
sold
play
it
it.
to me.
Oh, did I?
Yes,
Oh, that's
you
right.
sold it to
I forgot
me
that's right. I
because
knew I wouldn't have time to play
it
that.
has the Sentinels of the Multiverse guys in it, and you
Yes,
know I love Sentinels of the Multiverse.
that's right. Okay. And what else do I have come? I got the big Dune War for Arrakis by Simon, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this thing's based on the War of the Rings engine. Even war gamers have told I've seen like this thing is the greatest. It's dudes on a map deluxe, right? I know Hexy is definitely. By the way, Hexy, I shot an 86 at Kingsport at Cattails, a real course. By the way,
Wow,
well,
wow.
Jeff's a big golfer. Um, so this big ass thing is going to come that I've been waiting for, and it's going to arrive probably 20 pounds worth of stuff. And I'm just wondering, am I going to keep this or not? I guess I'm going to have to try.
I gotta find a box for you.
Why?
Oh, damn! I spent the weekend moving stuff around, and now it's buried. But I actually have the Simon. Um, what the hell is it called?
I don't know. Homicide?
The Elder Scrolls, which
Oh,
is
the
a
Elder Scrolls.
massive box. It is.
Yeah, that one's big too.
It, it weighs
so,
like 1,000 pounds. I don't
so
even know
like
how they ship it.
like 4 years ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have plenty of time to play this. Let me order it now. And now it's all starting to come, and I'm like, oh no. So my new
Mhm.
policy. I was talking to Mark Walker about this the other day, and I just mentioned to you before we got on the Now my policy is as soon as I get a new game in, I throw it on the table like Korea and like I did with Moon, and I have to immediately determine if I'm going to actually play this thing or not. Because if you end up throwing it in the shelf and never playing it, it's just going to sit there and rot, and you'll never get to it, and you've wasted your money. I like to make that determination almost immediately, and then like, okay, I'm just going to sell this thing while it still has some market value, you know?
Oh, Herman, I had boxes all over my room, and
Yeah,
I'm like, when did I get this?
exactly.
I
Right.
didn't even know I
Right.
had
Stuff
this.
comes in that you
I'm
forgot you
looking
ordered.
at this.
Absolutely. And
I
like you
mean,
say,
I
like,
did
why
it
did I order
like
this?
20 times. I swear I did it like 20 times. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, this one's still in the shrink wrap. Where did this come from? I had no idea I even had this box.
I know.
It's crazy. You're right. It is.
And half the time is like, what was I thinking? Why did I order this?
Yeah.
But
A lot of times it's like, I'm never
yeah.
going to play this game. Why did I get this? This is
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Crazy. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I do appreciate it. Herman appreciates it as well.
Absolutely.
It's good to see people still remember who he is. Yes. So this is a good post here. I watched ID Jester's unboxing of Rangers at Point to Hawk.
Yeah, it was really nice to do. That was an oldie but goodie.
And Meandering Mike's playthrough. I bought the game and I liked it a lot.
Oh, thank you, Christoph. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's an oldie but goodie. I don't know if they're ever going to reprint that or not.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a lot of printing problems with some games, but I'll tell you what. That Point to Hawk, that our Crowbar was printed by Flying Pigs, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was beautifully done. I thought it looked great. It was really good. Pre-rounded counters, really thick counters.
So to that point, a lot of people ask me, well, why do you design for so many different companies? And a lot of it has to do with not all companies can do everything. So Crowbar, Most Fearful Sacrifice, Rocket Chickamauga, no other company can do them like Flying Pig can do that. Not even, honestly, I don't even think GMT could do it like that.
Yeah.
They have that part of the market cornered, and
they do. I mean, all their productions are, beautiful productions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to. I tell people when I'm doing my unboxing, I'm sorry if I repeat myself over and over again. It's so good. I want people to know how good it is because you don't.
And that's been Mark's philosophy when we first talked about Most Fearful Sacrifice. We said, look, if we're going to do a Gettysburg game, we're going to do not just another Gettysburg game. We're going to blow it out of the water. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do these 15 square foot boards and gigantic counters and beautiful artwork. We're just going to blow it up. And it worked. I mean, it worked well.
Absolutely. We have a question that I think we were going to wait till the end, but I think this is a good one to talk with about now.
Hey, Dave.
Which Blind Swords ACW game do you recommend for me to play against a newer war game? Start to finish in 6 hours or less and competitive where both sides are aggressive and attacking.
Okay, so the two that normally come up as suggestions, first is the first one, which is Stonewall Sword, which is on the Battle of Cedar Mountain. So that's the very first game. So that's the simplest as far as complexity, I think. And you will get that. The Union has to attack early to grab victory point hexes because Stonewall Jackson eventually wakes up and realizes what's going on and counterattacks and overwhelms the Union. So there's this nice yin and yang push and pull type of feeling to it. The other one is Thunder at Dawn, which is the Wilson's Creek game by Claude Whalen. And that one is very accessible as well. So I would probably start with either of those two.
Okay. Well, you heard it right from the man himself. I mean, he probably has more knowledge on this game than anyone else in the world.
Well, not anymore because I haven't designed one for a few years. So,
well, but you understand the system, right?
Yeah.
You created the system, so you understand.
Right, but I mean, it's grown exponentially,
True.
Shiloh's got multiple maps, and Steve Carey's taken that over and has done a great job with it.
Mandarin Mike's in the house. Hey, Mike,
Hey,
how
Mike.
you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Good to see everyone tonight. So, I know we're coming up on Halloween. Any big plans? I normally try to schedule a game for that day, and you know which one I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But do you have anything scheduled?
Well, you can pick two, but yes. So speaking of that, so I finally got my
there. Look at that.
There it is, folks. The expansion for Plum Island Horror, More of a Bad Thing. So this is the that's a pretty thick box
for expansion. Hell yes.
Yeah. So the inside looks like what a Fantasy Flight game, the folded, they got all that in there. I mean, I can show you real fast if you want to see what's in here.
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
exclusive
it's
viewing.
World premiere. We got a world premiere, folks, right here on the channel. Thank you, Herman.
Yep. Oh, nice rule book.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Emergency response handbook with some stuff on the back. It's how many pages is this thing? I have to say, honestly, I got to say, when I saw the final production of this thing, I was so happy. Mm-hmm. This is a meaty expansion. There's more stuff. So if you just want to play the base game with more stuff, you can do that. There's so many more options and scenarios and new things in here. It's fantastic. Some more chits. Okay. So we got new factions. We got ZZ's Big Top Circus. We got the Oceanside Construction Company.
Oh my God! Oh, that's a good one.
And the Monkey Island Cultists.
Oh my God!
Yep. So you can see there's actually there's a monkey. Where is it? Monkey riding a dolphin there.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
We've got some new cryptids. We got some new mutants.
Mutants, yeah.
All right. So we got the. I got to put my reanimated grizzly bear, the Montauk monster, and frantic tumbling cockroaches.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah, I make myself laugh. I know.
I know. Like, how do you do it? It's so funny how you name your naming conventions.
Yep. And by the way, you're on here. You're one of the.
I know.
You're one of the civilians on here.
I got a counter in the game, baby.
There's a summary of. You can see the three-eyed lady there.
Yep.
These are the rules for alarming mode. So all you people who bitched and complained that it was too easy, well, you're about to get destroyed. There's a new track. So now what they do is if you lose evacuation points if civilians get killed. And if you get to too many minuses, you automatically lose the game.
Okay.
All right. So that's that new thing. New standees, new baggies, and a whole bunch of new cards.
Nice.
So there's some replacements from the original game that they just fixed a couple little things, but there's all new fate cards in here, all new event cards, and all new search cards. So there's lots of stuff.
World premiere there, folks. You get to see exactly what's coming in the box. You've got to pre-order GMT. Get over there and get it pre-ordered if you don't already have it, because it's coming soon as Herman gives them the okay. They send it off to the printer.
It's already okayed. It's
already coded. Oh, yeah. There you go. It's being printed as we speak.
While I'm on this pile, so people keep getting confused. They say, "Oh, I didn't know you did this game, and this one's coming out." So what came out this year so far is the 12th Battle by Hexasim. All right, so that's the Caporetto campaign. That's a solitaire game. The Miracle at Dunkirk.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, everyone's raving about that game.
This is getting well reviewed, and thankfully so. I mean, it's only been waiting 8 years.
Like 6 years, right? Isn't that what we had? 6 years?
Yep. And then, Oh, and then, of course, that.
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
The Wreck of Chickamauga.
Oh my God. So that's everything that's come out lately. Yeah, Miracle at Dunkirk, I'm very proud of because it's not your typical war game.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, people ask me what else am I going to do with it. Well, if anybody can come up with a suggestion of a situation that's similar to that I can make a game out of, I'd appreciate it because I can't think of one.
I came across something the other day and I thought, oh, Herman should hear about this. I'll have to think about it and let you know.
Okay.
Because
interestingly enough, the idea for Plum Island Horror came from when I was working on that game. Because I liked the situation so much, but I couldn't think of a historical situation, so I came up with a horror situation.
Right. So let's catch up on the chat real quick. Richard says he cannot wait for that one. I think it was when we were talking about Plum Island Horror.
Yeah, you'll like it. There's a lot of stuff in there.
It's the same as Wolfpack from Mr. Berticelli. They made rules to make it even harder. Wait, I don't want to sink my boat in 2 turns. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I played Plum Island Horror 5 times. I played Plum Island Horror 5 times. I won once.
Yeah.
So I don't know how these people, I think they're not playing it correctly if they're winning so easily.
Well, it's either that or, I mean, the basic problem with playtesting that game or Dawn of the Zeds or any of that kind of it's so chaotic and variable. It's hard to get a balancing unless you've played it 100 times, right? Some people just have this insight for Plum Island Horror to get what's going on and just have nailed down the mechanics so that they can. That's what happened with Dawn of the Zed. Somebody came up with one guy came up with the fix, the solution to Dawn of the Zeds. People were losing that at a clip of, 95% of the time they'd lose. Right. And he was winning it most of the time because he came up with the right. He figured out whatever the formula is. I don't even know what the formula is.
Hex to Hex says, you know which game he's waiting for. We're going to talk about upcoming things shortly, my friends.
Yeah, we're starting on that one, Hexy.
Speaking of Dawn of the Deads.
So, well, we might as well talk about that now. What the heck? Since it's Halloween.
You got it brought up.
All right.
So let's talk about you. There was Dawn of the Zeds 2, or the original Dawn of the Zeds.
Well, the original portfolio by Victory Point Games, done back in 2011.
Okay.
It was a State of Siege game.
That was updated by you to version 2.
Version 2 a couple of years later, I think in 2014.
Okay.
Right. So that became a second edition. Then I did an expansion for the second edition called the Director's Cut, which was just a small pack of cards, extra stuff. Then Alan sold the company to Tabletop Tycoon, and they bought the rights of a bunch of games along in the Victory Point catalog, and Zeds was one of them. Mm-hmm. That became the third edition. Now, the third edition was just everything before, and then they added a whole bunch of stuff, but I had nothing to do with that production.
The mess that is the third edition.
Right. So the third edition's been around for a few years. I write about it on the BGG page, but I've gotten a bunch of complaints about it, saying it's too complex, it's 5 rule books, it's too much. I can't figure it out. Takes too long, all that kind of stuff. So I said, all right, well, there's nothing I can do about it because
it wasn't even your.
I mean, even Nancy's daughter had one of the reasons I did the new edition is because Nancy's daughter called me and said, I can't play this game, Herman. It's too hard. And I thought, well, for casual gamers, right? Mm-hmm. For the majority of people, it is too much. So unfortunately, earlier this year, Alan Emmerich passed away. I don't if most people know that, but if you don't, he did pass away. And coincidentally, at the same time, my contract with Tabletop Coon, well, I want to say expired, but because I didn't get enough commissions, they weren't selling enough because it went out of print. So one of the conditions of the contract is if I don't get X amount of commission, I can ask for the IP back. So
Right.
I asked for the IP back, and I got it back. So then I decided, well, that's it. I'm going to redo this whole thing because I mean the game's 13 years old.
Yeah.
So I said, there's a lot of mechanics in there. I've learned a lot about designing since I first designed this game. I want to fix a bunch of stuff. And yes, it was a little bit war gamey in its original inception because I was a war gamer. That's what I knew, right? So since then, as you know, you and I have played many more games since then of dudes on a map or dungeon crawls or adventure games or deck building or all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just decided I'm going to redesign the thing.
I think it's great. I play several thousand games. I've played several thousand games, and one of the games I have not played is Dawn of the Zed's 3rd edition because every time I get it out, it is literally a mess to try and figure out what cards you're using with which version of the game you're playing. It gives me a headache just trying to deal with it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Even though would love to show it off, I'm just not going to do it because
and I totally get that. And I think so. One of the problems I have with some games is exactly that. The game that you don't play for a few months and you say, hey, let me revisit that game. And then you got to relearn it, right? Right. As opposed to the game you can pull off the shelf like Memoir 44 and it's like comes back to you in 5 seconds and you're playing.
Right.
So that's one of the things I definitely wanted to change.
There's a difference I find in complexity and what's the word I'm looking for? There's complexity in a game that gives you things to do, and then there's like a good complexity, and then there's bad complexity. It's just added just to give you things to do, but it doesn't really add anything to the game. I'm looking for the right word, but
I kind of think about that as kind of like design for effect, right? So I'm going to design something to have an end result. How do you get to that end result? You can get to that end result with 50 pages of very complex modifiers and extra rules and extra steps and blah, blah, blah. Or you can figure out a way to very efficiently get to that end.
Right.
And that's what I try to do, right?
You can streamline it to make it easy for the player to understand how to get from point A to point B.
Right. It's like the modern day war game where you shoot a missile and you're tracking the missile and it gets pushed a hex to the left because the wind's blowing this way and blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, you can come up with a very simple way to resolve that.
Right.
Even have wind involved once in a while, right? But it will be a random factor. And you can get to that end result, where the end justifies the means.
Yeah, Christoph. He says exactly what I'm talking about. I see unboxings, playthroughs, even before the game is available in Belgium. He's doing it right over there. Yep. He's doing it right.
Yep.
He now knows what games to get and what games not to get. So that's good.
Right. To answer the previous question, hey Gary, I'll get to you in a second. So Dawn of the Zeds, I've been working on that basically every day for 5 hours a day for the last 2 weeks. The art's going. I just finished the first official draft of the rules today. I added a whole.
And who's doing the printing? Is it Blue Panther?
Well, Blue Panther's doing it because I wanted to pick them because, well, A, Steve's a friend of mine. B, they're a U.S. company, so I don't have to worry about shipping from China, tariffs from China, delays from China, shipping and all that kind of crap. And I like his product. I like the way his stuff looks. He has it's versatile. So if I need a rectangular counter or a triangle shaped counter, he can do it because of the way he does his printing. It's laser, print on demand, and he never runs out of stock.
Right.
because he prints it as you order it. So he doesn't have to order 5,000 copies then and risk selling
Right.
2,000 and getting stuck with 3,000,
Right.
right?
Right.
Or he orders 2,000, gets 5,000 orders, and then you got to wait 3 months till he orders the other 3,000, right?
Right.
Well, but that's moving along at a good pace. Anybody who wants to follow, I have a Board Game Geek page up for Dawn of the Zeds Designer Edition. If you want to follow it over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
What's next?
Part one, but really enjoyed Tattered. Oh, thank you. Cornfield is next. The only reason it hasn't come out yet is because I've been so busy doing Dawn of the Zeds. I also have 2 other big projects, which I'll talk about. I've created, unfortunately, and I know you yell at me about this all the time, I've created myself a perfect storm of work.
I tell you, every time I text you and I'm like, Herman, I haven't heard from you for a week. What the hell? You're working too hard, man.
I know I've said this a million times on your show and on the War Room and everywhere else, but I'm actually working more hours now than when I work for a living.
I know.
Yeah.
I can tell. It's crazy.
Yeah. So Tattered Flags
freaking release 3 games back to back to back just about without doing a lot of work. I mean, that's crazy. And I know there's 3 more that we're going to talk about here shortly. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You
so
just keep adding things. Yes. I didn't even say no. The problem is you don't say no, which is good for me because when I say, Herman, come on my show, you can't say no. So
yeah, but the thing is, I can say no unless they come up with a really cool idea for me to do, and one of those projects I'll tell you about in a second too. But yeah, I know I have a hard time saying no. I mean, I love doing it so far, and it keeps me busy while I'm retired. But Tattered Flags, the Cornfield, will be the next Tattered Flags. We've already started working on it. It's just a matter of getting it going. Hey, half amateur.
Some games are more about the rules than the game. Yes, I agree with that completely. Good comment there. Half amateur. Thanks for coming by. We do appreciate it.
I knew somebody would mention that. So the story of Gulf Strike is, I don't know, when the heck did this get mentioned? But anyway, there was a game I designed back in the 80s, and I submitted it to Avalon Hill, and it was called Fairways and Flames. It was the game of combat golf, because golf became so boring because it was so technologically sophisticated. They came up with basically a ultimate fighting version of golf where you could do all sorts of stuff. And so I designed this game. Avalon Hill rejected it. Fine. It's sitting, I still have it in the drawer back there. And I think I was on Art Wolf's Lair, and it was mentioned. I mentioned it, and everybody started posting that they wanted to see this game, right? And I forget who it was, and I'm sorry, I forget who offered the name, but somebody offered the name Golf Strike, and I said, "Well, that name is perfect, right?"
Yeah, so, that is. Well,
anyway, I have it.
Games, that are really. Maybe you were too early in the time. Maybe now is the right time for that.
Yeah, and since I'm playing golf now, I actually relate to it a little bit better now. So it gives me an insight. So the key to doing a game like Golf Strike is that you have to make first a legitimate golf game.
Yeah.
That if you wanted to play it just to play golf, it would work, right? Then you graft on
all the extras.
Stuff, okay. And yeah, I mean, I actually pulled it out after all this hubbub happened. I pulled it out and I started laughing because I was like, holy crap, I did a lot on this. I had a stack of cards like this.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good, So
I mean, think about the replayability. You got tons and tons of different courses.
Yep.
You got tons and tons of special abilities you can use against your opponents.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you could go on. It goes on forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is in the hopper somewhere down the line.
I'll just add that to the list. Yeah, I agree. Herman needs a hiatus, I think.
Well, I consider I play golf 3 times a week now, and I consider that my hiatus.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you do get a little bit of time for yourself. Blue Panther production quality is world class. It is. It is very
It
good.
is. There's something about the way they do their counters, the thickness, and I love the canvas maps and all that stuff. It's really great.
Manny and Mike said it was him and
Oh, it
another
was you?
dude both
Okay.
said
Yeah, I
it was
know.
the
All right.
same
That's what I
company.
figured. But that's stuck with me. So yeah.
I wasn't even going to say Meandering Mike because he's always coming up with good names. He's
Mhm.
very, very good. If you
Very
need a
smart.
name, contact Meandering Mike. He'll come up with something. I think
Very
he's the
smart.
one that
Very smart
originally
dude,
came up with
Mike.
the War Room. I think, like back in the day, we weren't the War Room, and I think Meandering Mike was the guy who said, "Oh, you guys should just be called the War Room."
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Meandering Mike that said that.
Awesome.
I'm still
3 years.
discovering all the
3 years is
systems.
new.
Yeah. Isn't it overwhelming? It can be. It can be, that's for sure.
Yeah, because even within the community of wargaming, you got the old grognards who all want to play the 1970s stuff, and then you got the newer guys, let's say like David Thompson, who just came in late, so he designs his war games a certain way. I'm kind of in between, I appreciate the old war game style, but I'm trying to design like a new war game style. Yeah, there's a lot there.
When you get something to say to yourself, and that's the whole. There you go. There you go. No, it wasn't you. Okay, it wasn't you that said the War Room. Then somebody else that said the War Room. All right. Do you want to talk about one of your upcomings? Is it now? A
Yeah,
good time?
so yeah, the perfect storm is that I got Dawn of the Zeds, the new edition. That's supposed to come out in February, so I really have to get going on it. Simultaneously, so this is really weird. Simultaneously, the other day, I was proofing art for 3 different games simultaneously, which is, you don't know how, mixing up a zombie with an Austrian Fusilier is a dangerous thing. So the other thing I'm working on is the first game of the Blind Swords Napoleonics.
Nice. There we
It's
go.
going to be
There
called
we go.
Bonaparte's Swords. So I keep the BS monogram, whatever you call that,
Yeah.
abbreviation going.
Abbreviation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been working really hard on that. Holy crap. We had some art problems with that have been solved, but that's moving along pretty well. So it's going to be on the Battle of Leipzig as the first one, because I figured if I tackle a battle, I'm going to tackle the biggest one first. Plus, it's a tribute to my mother, who passed away a few years ago, and she's originally from Leipzig, and she lived right next to the battlefield.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that.
Yeah.
When do you think, just time frame, like
that's probably going to be the middle of next year.
Middle of next year.
That's still got to get play tested and stuff, but that's moving along pretty quickly. And then the other game is A Forlorn Hope for Ryan Heilman and Wes Crawford's new company, Warfrat Games. So A Forlorn Hope is actually being tested now. Wes just came back from Minnesota, and he showed the game to Liz Davidson and Zilla Blitz and played it with them.
Nice.
And they're apparently going to cover it on some video. So it's actually been well received. It's basically the game that in magnificent style was supposed to be when I first conceived it. It's a trench warfare game, using a push your luck philosophy. But this one, we have some really cool artwork by this young lady named Tawa. It's like this pencil drawn. It's black and white type of mood, and you actually play a hand of cards in this one, and you assign the cards out. But if you draw some event cards, you have to resolve the events first.
That could throw everything into a loop. Yeah.
And you're pushing your guys across, and instead of a rally point, you have to decide when you're going to hunker them down, because you want to hunker them down before something bad happens to you and they get pinned. Pinned is worse than hunkering down. Hunkering down is voluntarily taking cover in a shell hole or whatever you run into. Yeah. Being pinned is being stuck somewhere where you don't want to be.
Can't go anywhere. Yeah, you're stuck.
You're always measuring like how far I'm going to push these guys before they get pinned, hunker them down voluntarily. You're also trying to keep them in a wave together. So,
Hey,
hey, Marty.
Mike, how you doing, buddy? Good to see
Mike,
you.
you're in the new expansion too, Mike. Butter jelly.
Yes, butter jelly. Yep, for sure. Yep.
So that's going on at the same time. That should be also be in February. So a lot of stuff's going on at the same time.
So you got you're proving art for zombies. You're proving art for Napoleonic warfare. It that is quite a contrast. It's not like
It is, the thing is, and
different artists,
different artists, different
different art
companies, different
style, different
procedures.
companies.
The thing is, and I've said this many times to you before, is that having non-historical and historical. If I had to do all historical games, my brain would probably blow up. I need non-historical stuff to kind of balance that out.
I saw Long Island expansion being
Oh,
played. A
come
lot
on.
of TNT well.
Yes, I heard it went pretty well. The alarming mode's supposed to be pretty tough, Mike, from what I understand, and I know it is because I've read all the bits and pieces. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for
you are in
sure.
there.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Gene seemed to like it, and his daughter's name, which is just escaping me now,
Rachel.
Rachel, also really liked it too.
Did Rachel ask about me? Because we're close personal friends. I've sent her like 2,000 emails try and get Gene on the War Room,
Yeah,
and introducing us to her, and hey, we'd like to have Gene
yeah,
on sometime. Blah blah blah. It took me 2 years of emails before she finally got with Gene, and he was nice enough to come on the show. He's a really interesting guy and
yeah. He's
really
a good
nice.
guest.
And
He's a good guest. Has a great history in the hobby. Yeah.
yeah, yep, very knowledgeable. And I thought he was going to be Mr. Tight Lip, but no, once he got going, you couldn't shut him up. Which is great. He's a really good host, so we're very happy to have him.
And the last thing I'm working on at the same time is a GM. Thank you, GMTP 500. If you go over there, you'll see A Hell So Terrible, which is a Verdun game. It's a solitaire game, another new system. Are you going over there now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there
okay.
right now to show it off. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, and then we will share the screen because I want people to know about this one.
Yep. What are we up to? 307. Okay, we're getting there.
307, pretty good.
Yep.
Not bad.
So this is a solitaire game. I like doing solitaire games. They're a good design challenge. And this one, I think I've told you about this one, Chester. One of my favorite mechanics now that I've discovered is dice assignment.
Oh, yes. Dice placement, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it because to me, it's the perfect combination of chaos and player judgment, right? Or player decision making.
Right.
Because you're rolling your dice and then you have to assign them out. So you got that chaos of what is your dice roll, and then the planning of how are you using these dice that you've rolled. What is the best application of each die to each unit? And this game has that, where you have to, like that right there is your dice results. There's 4 different types of dice. Your basic green one is your advanced. It is how you move, and the friction is how many casualties you take when you move. You can upgrade the green die to the black die, which is the infiltration die, which represents you assigning Stoßtruppen, and those have better results, but you need a command point.
One move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The red die is a better version of the friction die, and you can only get those if you have your support close enough, which means your artillery is suppressing the enemy so they don't hurt you as much. So it's an interest. It really works out well. I'm very happy with it, and I'm definitely going to use it for something else. And yes, there's a whole bunch of event cards. Yes, I know, a Hermann Luttmann game with event cards. How unusual!
Wow,
But
I don't know. Never heard of that before.
And this is the AI, and the French will react to you based on the card you draw. But it's also, if you can see the details of the card, it also depends on what you're doing, how it reacts to you. So it's not just totally random. If you've, for example, in the major French counterattack, if you've managed to interdict the La Voie Sacrée, which is the sacred way, which was the road the single road that supplied all the French forces. If you can interdict that, then the French don't get as good units. If you didn't interdict it, then they get better units. So
Mm-hmm.
little things like that. It will mimic what happened historically. Obviously, not scripted, but your decision making will affect how the French react to you too.
So it's solitaire, less than 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Mounted map board, counters. Do we know if they're going to be pre-rounded or anything?
Don't know all that detail yet. But
Okay.
there's 16,
16
custom
dice.
activation dice. Yep.
4 10-sided dice, some event cards. Oh, surprise, surprise. Some game markers, combat tracks, player aid, and a rule booklet.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And very decent complexity there.
I like trying to designing a good solo game is a good challenge. I think it's good for the designer's mind to try to figure out how you can design a solitaire game that's challenging for the player. And
then you're getting a pretty good price there too. You're getting a pretty good price, $75. It's $40 off.
The P500 price is a bargain.
Insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. And as you know, I mean, the key to solo games is you don't want to spend more time working on the solo bot's move than your own move, right? You want something where the solo bot is like bing, bang, boom. It does this, resolved, and then you worry about your turn.
Those are the best. And you're playing solitaire. You're playing by yourself. There's nothing worse than you take your turn and then you spend 20 minutes doing your opponent. You're like, what about me? You know,
right.
You're playing solitaire. The best AIs, in my opinion, are those that do their job and get out of the way and let you do back to your thoughts, your ideas, your.
One of my favorites is a game that I got right up there called Gears of War. Those AI cards are fantastic. You just go right down that card and it tells you this is what the guy does. He does this to you. Boom, boom, boom. You're done.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone has any questions for Herman, now would be a great time to ask him. I know we've covered.
Oh my God, it's almost 9 o'clock already.
Yeah, time flies and you're having fun.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you. So if you have any questions, I know we've covered a few questions people have been talking about, but it fit in great with what we were talking about. So
by the way, let me give a shout out to my buddy Fred Manzo. He had an accident a few months ago and he's been in rehab for a couple of months and hopefully he's getting up and around now. Yeah. He fell and he had a bad back before and he hurt himself and he was been in rehab for a while. So hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, for sure.
Send your prayers out to him. Yep.
Give your prayers to him. Wow, that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't hear that before.
Yep. I think he's finally getting up and around, but it's been a while.
This is a good question because both Meandering Mike and myself have this game. Any thoughts on returning the world of Zorn?
It's funny you mentioned that. We talked about that last week. Yes, we're going to revisit it. I think we know what we want to fix. We're not sure how we're going to approach this because there's some things about the original version that kind of still bug us a little bit. So we might want to fix some couple things. But yes, generally the reviews have been well received. I mean, the people like it. Guys like Judd Vance love it. So we do want to revisit it. And we may want to fix a couple things in the original.
That's good to hear. That's really good. I have the game. I've tried playing it a couple of times, and it just something in it that just didn't sit right.
And that's the way we feel about it. We feel like
I think that whatever we kind of think alike. So whatever you're thinking is probably going to fix what my issue was.
We think that there's enough good stuff in there.
There's great stuff in there. There's a few issues that I ran into, but
answer, Mike. Yes, we are going to revisit that.
Okay, good question, Mike, and good to know that. Christoph says his wallet needs to know Do you guys have? Well, he's got plenty of games coming soon.
Well, I
We
got to
just
tell you, there's one game I haven't really talked that much about because I don't even have that many details. So a couple of years ago, I designed this huge sci-fi soap opera type of game called Assault on Zoltar, and it used a brand new system. It had geomorphic boards. It had multiple scenarios in a campaign where you played um, mercenaries who were going to the planet of Zoltar to defeat this bad guy and seize their resource, which was called Pinaculum.
oh, okay.
And so I had this whole big thing, and I had this, oh my god, this card system I came up with to activate these guys. I was like, I've got to use this again. It's so cool. So Nuts Publishing has it, and they decided that they want to just get not only a new artist just to do the sci-fi stuff perfectly, but also a writer to build the world out so
Built
they
the
could write
world and the
they could
history and
write a
everything.
whole
Yeah.
sci-fi thing around this. And so obviously it's taken a long, long time, but they're going to finally do it at the beginning of next year. It's finally going to start getting written up and drawn up and all that. They're naming it Nemto, which I'm not sure how they came up with that name, but whatever, it's fine. But
Okay.
it's going to be this sci-fi war game that is a cooperative solo game. So if you are playing with 4 people, you each have a company of mercenaries, and the
Okay.
boards expand out. So everybody's got their starting board, and they're fighting against aliens, and the aliens each have a group against each of your opponents. But they can cross over after a while. Like the AI will take them and run them around.
Move them wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, and every faction has their own type of tanks and their own type of troops. I mean, it was like I worked a lot on this thing, and Fred and I tested it for a year. It's sitting with Nuts Publishing. Hopefully, when I get some more information on it, it'll come out. But I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that's probably going to be down the line.
Yep.
Mike wants to know when are you going to come to GMT West?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to go sometime too. I think
I
it would be
would.
great.
I don't know. As I've gotten older, I'm just so against flying anymore. I just want to drive everywhere.
Exactly. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. Fred does a great job. Some awesome work on the games. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's my devil's advocate. He will play to break games.
Do some small training scenarios for Zorn.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a good suggestion.
That's a good idea. Yep.
We're not going to talk about this. Goodbye. Yes. Do you remember what had happened? I did an unboxing video.
Oh, I do remember.
Put
yes.
everything aside, and I put everything back in the box except for the counters. And then I threw all this stuff away. So I had to order a second set of counters.
Yeah, I do remember now.
Yep. We don't talk about that.
Oh, there's Fred.
Fred. Oh, he's feeling better. Good. Good. Never argue with the hill. It always wins. I have pins in my foot to show hills always win. Hills always win.
I'm glad to see you doing better, Fred. I hope the wedding, you went to a wedding on Friday. Hopefully it went all right.
All right. Does anyone have any last minute questions for Herman before we let him go here? Any last minute questions about something we didn't cover? The golf game sounds like it's going pretty good if you're shooting 86.
Yeah, God, I could talk to you about an hour about golf, about you get this progression of where you do it, you have this accelerated improvement, and then you get to like you're kind of circling the drain, like you don't feel you're ever going to get better.
Right.
And then every once in a while you get a little push and you do really well one round. You go, oh wait, I could do this, But for me personally, I had to get a hobby that was not involved sitting in front of the computer, which I do most of the day. So I had to do something to get me out in the fresh air and exercising. And for me, I'm naturally competitive. I was a pretty good athlete when I was younger and everything. So going out there, I really wanted to, improve and wow, 2 tournaments. And Jeff, by the way, is like he's won
He
his
must be
club
really good.
championship and
He
stuff.
must
He's
be really
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him hit.
I told you this before, Herman. I'm going to tell you this again. I live on a golf course. There's a
Right.
golf course right there outside my front door.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
get golf balls in my yard.
I was just
all
going to
the
say,
time.
how many windows?
We have not had any windows, knock on wood, but
right.
we've had golf balls in our yard all the
Just
time.
collect them up, clean them, and
I
golfers
do.
will pay
I
you.
do. I got a whole bag of them in the garage.
We'll pay you for the shit. I call them shit balls because if I hit a breakfast ball, it's always the shit ball. So,
hey, Stuka, what's going on, buddy? Sorry,
Joe, what's up, buddy?
Good to see you.
Oh, hey, by the way, real fast, Stuka Joe and I are involved in a project. I don't want to say too much about it yet, but for you people who used to be with Victory Point Games way back in the day, there was a solitaire World War II game that was a big deal back then that Alan and other people were showing off at Concert World Tempe, and it never came about. But I've been talking to the designer, and it might be coming about. And Stuka Joe's involved too.
Really?
Yeah.
More world premiere. Herman, you're spoiling me with all these world premieres.
I know. Okay. I needed another thing to do. Oh, wedding was good. Yep.
Great. It's good to
all
see.
All right. Well, almost making it through is good, Fred.
That's really nice. Yep, the hill always wins. All right. Thank you for everyone showing up. We do appreciate it. We're going to do this again, in another month or two and catch up again and talk about all the new stuff coming out and all that, because there'll be another 3 freaking games coming out before you know it.
Well, I'll certainly have some artwork and stuff to show off, maybe. Yep.
All kinds of things. So, great time.
Thank you for having me.
Love talking with you.
That was a fast hour.
On you, making sure you're not just playing golf every day. At least you're doing something out there. So that's
it's keeping me alive.
Yeah, I love talking gaming as well. A lot of people don't know this, but me and Herman actually did a live gaming show for like 8 or 10 episodes where we talked gaming, and it was the greatest show ever until it got canceled.
Thank you, Jeff.
Because somebody else was busy all the time. Thanks everyone for coming on Hex to Hex, man.
Thank you guys.
Half Amateur, Jeff Edwards, Stuka Joe, Mike Butterjelly, Dave Potier, Christoph. Thank you for staying up late over there in Belgium. And everyone, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Take care.